Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Tuesday, January the 9th, 2024. Tuesday, January the 9th. Well, we've got Alexis. I mean, this woman is talking about getting certified. She loved skydiving and she wants to get certified so they don't have to jump with the instructor. And Gregory looked at her. He goes, well, I don't think I'm physically up for that. He says, besides, I have more things on my bucket list. Alexis just got like a whole breath of fresh air and she's ready to keep inhaling, right? So then he wanted to talk about the kiss and he completely apologized to Alexis. He's like, I got caught up in the moment. That was so unfair of me to pull you into my emotion, the excitement, the exhilaration I was feeling. He goes, Alexis, I am so sorry. And she's like, last I checked, I kissed you back, right? What are you apologizing for? And he said, because you only kissed me because I'm dying. And she looked at him, she goes, that's not why I kissed you. I mean, it was a spur of the moment. We both were just in the moment. It's New Year's Eve. It's fireworks. Well, she didn't say that, but it was fireworks going and they started some sparks, right? So he said, but look, had I not been given this diagnosis, I never would have been skydiving. Would you? She goes, no, but he's glad he did because it's on his bucket list, right? He said, had we not been skydiving and going through all of that, the kiss never would have happened. Don't you think? And she says, well, probably not. But I mean, Gregory. And he goes, no, Alexis, I need you. He said, I need you to be my rock. I need you to be my confidant. I need what we have. I need this relationship. And what he's saying is, I'm getting worse. And I don't want to cloud things now with them turning this relationship, because this can't be a relationship if he's dying, right? Into something else. And then now it's the emotion. Now she's all caught up in the man she loves is dying. And it's a whole different dynamic. And he goes, I need you. And I need us just the way it is. That is so important to me. And she looked at him and she understood that. And I thought, now that was rational. Because on some people's bucket list, having a last fling, having however long that relationship could be with a person, they want to experience it. So I'm not saying his reasonings are good or bad. But what if Alexis ends up coming back to him saying, I don't care if we have 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year. I want to be in a relationship with you till the end. What would he say? Because some people are like that too. So, anyway, I mean, I'm loving their friendship, I'm loving their connection. We're going to see just where that goes, right? So, Curtis, he and Portia were a bit apprehensive, because the doctor came in, even though all the paperwork he gave, it showed, all the side effects, all the risk. There's no promises. Well, the doctor came in spouting them all, because he wants them to go into this surgery eyes wide open, eyes wide open. So Curtis said, "Can I talk to my wife for a few minutes?" Doctor's like, "No, no, you two need to talk. So we know which way we're going to do it." He said, "Because look, if we're going to do this surgery, the room's almost ready, and we're going to need to go ahead and get this done, right?" So he steps out, Curtis and Portia. Portia's so nervous and like, well, what if it don't work? And then, but I'm thinking, well, look, your legs ain't working now. But I guess, look, now there could be more injury, more spine. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of ifs, ifs, ifs. So they were pretty much um set on, okay, we're not going to do it. We'll just leave things the way they are. Because Portia had more apprehension than Curtis, right? So the doctor came back in and the doctor said, "All right, the OR's ready. We got to get this show on the road." And Curtis says, "Actually, doctor, my beautiful wife and I decided," and she goes, "to go right on ahead with this procedure." And he looked up at her and he goes, "Really, Portia? Really?" And she goes, "Yes, I'm all in." Right? So Curtis is being wheeled out and the whole family is around. Marshall even snapped at Stella because Stella is thinking all the whole worst case scenarios. And Marshall's like, "I'm on the be positive end," when Stella used to always be the be positive person, right? So then he apologized to her because he really snapped down on her hard and yelled at her and walked away. And then he brought up the kiss and he said, "Stella, was there a spark or something between us?" See, now I'm beginning to think they didn't have an affair in the past. That is still, they're leaving it so up in the air. And she's like, "No, I think it was the heat of the moment," or whatever she said. Right. But they're good. They said, "No, we're good. We're good with each other." Okay. Trina was talking to Stella while TJ was talking to Marshall. And she told her about Paris and how she accepted, but she wants to turn it down because it's selfish of her to want to go do that while the family needs her. And Stella says no, because Stella, she goes, "Tell me again, do you regret giving up everything, coming back to raise your nephews?" And she goes, "I don't regret it one minute. I was needed. And I chose to do that." And so she says, so Trina said, "Then I have no right to while the family needs me to go and do this." She goes, "Trina, that situation and your situation are two separate things. Tommy and Curtis were boys when I needed to come in and step in. Boys, little boys. You're an adult. Curtis is an adult. Okay? Curtis has a whole nucleus of family. Eileen or Irene, whatever her name is, her sister's name, Curtis's mom, she didn't have that. Yes, we had some extended family, but I was the one who knew those boys, who were closest to those boys, like a second mother. That's why I did it. I chose to do that. You, girl, live your life. This is an opportunity. So they hugged it out, and somehow I don't think Trina's going, right? Because it's about to go down. So anyway, then I love this scene. Sonny and Carly are so caring and comfortable with one another, right? And the kind of this Nina topic was gonna come up because Carly said, "I just had so much going on last night," and she caught herself. And Sonny said, and then Nina showed up. And then Carly got up and walked away from the table and put her mug back behind the counter. And he goes, "I take it you don't want to talk about Nina." She goes, "No, I don't. Unless you need to talk about Nina." See, she was now putting his feet, because she goes, "I know this was a devastating blow for you. And if you need to talk about it, I'm here." Because they're friends now, right? And so he says, "No, won't do any good." And then they just talked about Bobby pretty much the whole time he was there. And they were wrapping it up when the topic of Nina came up. And he's going to be there with her when they tell Donna and Avery. gonna tell the kids together. And she appreciates that. And then he's like, well, Carly, look. He goes, what are you gonna do? You ready to go home? He goes, come on, let's lock up and I'll drive you home. And he put his hand on the bar, like, I'll drive you home. And she goes, Sonny, what happened to your hand? And he goes, took out a little frustration. And she put her hands over his hand gently, you know. You see that in the picture. And she goes, did it help? And he said, no. That was a tender moment between those two. And she says, listen, no, I'm not ready to leave yet. So you go ahead. She's walking him to the door. You go ahead and go. I'm going to stay here for just a little while longer. I feel really close to my mom. And here, he goes, I understand. So he's like, lock this door behind me. She goes, I will. And Susie walks out. She locks the door. And she just looks, back around at Kelly's. And she's like, I miss you, Mom. Right? That was real cute. Touching scene. Real touching scene. And then we have, let's see. Now I'm going to the good stuff. Hello, everybody. Ava Tornado Jerome. Gotta love her sometimes, right? So Laura has Esme there, and she's calm, honey. Look, you just gonna tell the truth. It's gonna be okay. And Esme's like, okay. And so Dante's bringing Nina in. Nina's like, I mean, not Nina. Ava's like, why do I gotta come down? He goes, well, we caught we have the perpetrator who broke into Windermere in custody. And she goes, okay. He goes, they confessed. And she goes, all right. So still, why am I here? And he goes, well, I think in this situation, you may want to, they want to talk to you. Right. So she goes in the room and she sees it's Esme sitting there. And she's looking like, what do I have here? And so Laura's like mediating. Ava, Esme was the one that broke into Windermere, and she has some things she wants to say to you. So Ava sits down. Okay, this ought to be good. And she's just looking. And Esme was just as sincere as she wanted to be about why she did it and da da da. She was trying to go back. She heard that's where, she was held, and she thought she'd go back there, and she was held there on Christmas time, and she thought maybe if she went back, some memories would come back. And Ava's like, and did they? Did those memories come back? And she goes, no, nothing. And so Laura's like, Ava, we would like to make restitution, maybe some community service, a fine, we'll pay for the damages and blah, 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 but Esme's come forward. And Esme's like, I will never do it again. I was just trying to get my memories back. And so Ava looks at her. She looks at Dante. She says, I want to press charges against her. And Laura's like, Ava. And Esme's like, what? She said, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And she goes, but I'm doing the right thing. But she goes, oh, but you've never paid for anything you've done. Nothing. And so she goes, you gaslighted Jocelyn and Cameron. You took revenge porn and you posted it all over the internet. You drugged Trina. You framed her. She was on trial and could have been sent to prison for your lies. Yeah, but I don't remember. It doesn't matter. You don't remember. You did all that. The only thing she didn't say is you broke up my marriage. You slept with my husband. Blah, blah. She didn't bring herself into it. She says, you never paid for none of it. Well, Esme, you can pay for breaking into my house. And she gets her stuff and she's getting ready to walk out. But when the scene came back, I'm kind of confused because Laura, as Ava's walking out, Laura's like, Ava, why are you doing it? Why are you doing this? And she said, Laura, she needs to pay. She goes, Ava, she's got a baby. She goes, and Ava, something else is going on because you went out of your way to make sure she got a very light sentence. So it almost made it sound like she was immediately taken before the judge, right? And so Ava looked at her, Laura, that's because I do have a heart, okay? A little time in, and she said the name of Hosco or whatever she said. I don't know. I didn't recognize the name. A little time in wherever will do her a little good. See, it's going to be a short little sentence. And I thought, well, that was the fastest arraignment, you know. And she told Laura, but she has a baby. She goes, and that baby has a lot of family that loves it, surrounded by it. The baby will be just fine. Ava was peace out. And Dante's putting the handcuffs. See, it almost makes it. So then we go back to the room. So they couldn't have had an arraignment, right? Maybe she left where I don't know how that whole conversation came up because it was out of context, right? And so Esme, Dante's standing up and he's putting the handcuffs on. Esme Prince, you're under the arrest. You know, you're being detained for the crime of breaking and entering. No. But I did the right thing. So he's taking her out of the room, interrogation room. Laura said I would be let go. Laura said, and so she's walking by Laura. Said if I did the right thing, it would be okay. Laura said it. And Laura's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I did not thinking, oh, Laura, you're so sorry. You wanted her to take responsibility for her actions. But you're not going to tell Nicholas to turn himself in, are you? When you find out your son is alive, you're not going to say, now go confess to holding Esme captive. Do the right thing. Elizabeth did. Now you do the right thing, son. She's not going to say that. Just like she don't want Charlotte doing the right thing. Period. This was a whole hypocrite thing on Laura's part. Now, don't get me wrong, GH Recap fans. Esme has never paid for anything. She deserves it. The chick, you're the one, you burned Ava's car. You put her dead daughter's badge by that burnt car. Oh, you deserve to pay and pay big, even for something little like this. Even for something little. But do you want to know what's going to happen? This little breaking and entering is not a Pentonville crime. It really isn't. Watch. They're going to send her to Pentonville and she's going to be with Heather and Heather's going to completely transform well, look, not transform her because Esme's already evil. She's going to completely unlock the evil that's called Esme. I think this little stint is what's going to flip the switch in her being evil. Now, she's still not going to say she got her memories back, but now she's going to make it her mission to destroy Laura, destroy Ava, destroy Nicholas, destroy Spencer, and destroy Trina. She's going to make it her mission now, and she's truly going to weaponize that baby. The only neutralizing force is watch while Esme is doing her little time, Nicholas, who's going to do no time, who's not going to pay for anything he's done, is going to come and get full custody of that baby. And I hope Spencer fights him tooth and nail. But he won't. He can't. He won't have a leg to stand on. The blackmail that Spencer had before was the blackmail that that Nicholas kept Elizabeth hostage. I mean, not Elizabeth, Esme hostage. That's the blackmail he had before. Everybody knows that happened. He can't use that anymore. Nicholas is gonna, I mean, Spencer, Nicholas is going to get that kid. It's his son. Yep. And now when Esme gets back, she's really gonna do some dirt. Because the only thing half settling her down is she has a baby. But you could see on New Year's Eve, you could even see on Christmas. Well, no, Christmas, she didn't have her full memories back. New Year's Eve, you could see she was out looking her evil self, not even coming home on time for the sitter, not even calling the sitter. See, she's already back to not having that close bond, because when she didn't have her memories, that baby was the only thing that she could remember and that she could just latch on to. Now that she got her memories, she's like, shoot. For one, I know this baby ain't even a Cassadine. So I'm going to keep that in my belt. So yeah, that's going to be the real deal. They've never done a DNA test on that child at all. And rich folks always do that. But whatever, they sure have it. So that's it, everybody. Pretty good. Poor Esme. Not poor Esme, but I was shocked that it went this way. I was shocked. So let's go to Comment Corner. Comment Corner. Eduardo says, it's as you said, soap opera magic. And I know you're talking about Sasha changing that hair from Cody's hair to hers. Come on now. Eduardo says Barbara Jean Spencer, and that she's talking about BJ. BJ is also Bobby Jean Spencer. And Eduardo says, I suggested the life bio of Bobby Spencer tribute, goodbye, enjoy. Yeah, we're getting into it today and tomorrow, Major. Lucy says, team Gregory and Alexis. DL says, Rebecca Hurst and Laura Wright were amazing in those scenes, especially showing that after all the years of Elizabeth and Carly, Carly have that animosity of the character. Well, they were adversaries, really, animosity. But now, with a dash of respect, they have for one another. Yeah, it is. I mean, Bobby was in this incident, Bobby is the common bond. Those two have been in the same orbit since 1997. And then PE says, I think they would resolve the Mac Daddy storyline. I don't think they'll resolve the Mac Daddy storyline while the actor's away. No, they won't. I mean, that's why they didn't. And then Anne says, Lucy has never been Bobby's friend. And then user CT says, I agree. That is sloppy writing, the long length and dragging. And then Linda says, I think Sonny is waking up to what Nina really did to him and his family. Nina is ruthless and a schemer, and that is why she needs to lose Sonny, period. Ron says, in theory, Sasha should have stayed out of it, and maybe it was me, but I don't see how she see her switching the hair. She would have to take it out of Felicia's purse, really, to do that. And then they visited Bobby's grave before she even arrived, a little ahead of the game. No, they went to Bobby's Bobby Jean, the little girl's grave, after Felicia confessed that she ran the DNA test. Before, they were all at the studio getting ready to film. There's no way it could have happened. Felicia shoved it in her purse, kept it, and then handed it over to. There's no way that could have happened. That was really ridiculous. And Linda says it was Bobby's daughter. Her name is Bobby, too, BJ. Brian says, my mistake. I saw the name and forgot about the daughter. Oh, I see what you're saying. You said a little ahead of the game, they showed Bobby's tomb. Yeah, but that was the daughter. She was not even 10 years old from the dates on the tombstone. And then Aisha says, not mad at all that Diane, at Diane bringing up Nina needs to be dealt with. To be fair, Diane has seen revolving doors of Sonny's romantic partners and can probably peg which ones have a realistic grasp of what being a part of his life entails and can therefore successfully adapt to his lifestyle and which ones don't and won't. I'm with you, Daily Recap Lady. Diane has had the papers drawn up for quite some time now. Hope that observing firsthand in depth of his family grief over losing Bobby causes Sonny to revisit and reevaluate how he never fully acknowledged the grief for him. Wait, how he never fully acknowledged the grief for him. I don't understand that. And his families needlessly went through courtesy of Nina. Oh, that the grief that they went through. I see. Okay. Clemmy says, how the heck did Sasha change the hair? That was sloppy writing. Very sloppy. Cindy says, agree completely. There's no way Felicia would have left that sample unguarded so that Sasha could access it. They didn't show it happen. No surprise there. Well, because it couldn't have happened. And then Patty Forever says Sasha's intervening is stepping out of line. If she wanted to support her friend, be there when he falls. Don't commit a crime and make sure he never faces any consequences. She's an enabler. Uh, she is with Nina. Yeah, Sasha shouldn't have done that. Cody was prepared. He says, I was ready to confess. He's prepared for that. He doesn't want to be man enough, man up and re-up and get up and say he did it. But he was gonna, once it hit him in the face, he was not gonna deny it. And Sasha ruined that. So anyway, but she's trying to be a good friend. Look, he saved her life. I ain't mad at the girl. He's like her Brando. Brando would move heaven and earth for Sasha. And Cody did too. So okay, Sasha, go ahead. Go ahead, Sasha. Now you notice they have yet to have her and Cyrus bump into each other. I am so happy. She does not need that. I am so happy about that, everybody. All right, that's it for Comic Corner. That's it for my daily recap of General Hospital. I'll be back tomorrow for another daily recap.